Hi everyone, this is Christine Summers here with IdeateTV. Today I'm at Wondercon. I'm joined by Katie Shaw, the creator of Dragon Child. So just real quick, what is Dragon Child about?
Sure. So Dragon Child is a modern day fantasy comic made by me. So it's basically a world in which dragons and other mythical creatures are real, and they want to find a way to integrate into human society peacefully. So to do that, the dragons have picked one human to represent all those different creatures, and that's Dragon Child.
And the Dragon Child, the protagonist, is that her right here? It's the girl.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What inspired you to create the story?
So when I was a kid, I really loved, animals and reading books about dragons and all sorts of things. And I really loved the idea of, what if mythical creatures were real and how would that work? And so ironically, the main character was the last character that I finally was like, okay, this makes sense to me now. I'm going to continue with this version of this story. But, prior to that, some of the, other dragon characters, and I had an elf, and those type of things were well before the story was solidified to what it is now. And I started writing it in high school, started actually making it into a comic in college, and then ironically got distracted working for Apple for 7 years and realized I wasn't getting anything done comic-wise at all, and was like, well, I've saved up some money. If I'm going to do it, now is the time. And so in 2013 for APE in San Francisco, which was in October, was my first con that I ever did, and just jumped in, crazy person, and gave it a good go. And at the time, all I had was the first issue of my comic. I had the big, version of this one here, and I hand make all of my merchandise. So I make puppets, I make big stuffed animal dragons. I currently have 7 issues of the comic out, 3 different trades, which are collections of comics. And it's just tons and tons of fun. And it's something that, it's an all ages comic, so anybody can read it. And it's in black and white. So, sometimes people ask, is it a coloring book? Like, is this, what is it? And for me, I grew up reading black and white comics. And it's, for me, a calmer reading experience than sometimes full color comics can be a little bit distracting and overwhelming. And so I just love beautiful line work. And I add tones, which are essentially just gray areas into comics as well, to make it a little bit more dynamic. But for me, it's a great joy to see people be interested in my comics, to, share my ideas with other people. And especially with the way that the world is today, having a comic where it's like, well, let's give more rights to more creatures sounds like a great, message to share with people too.
Definitely a great message to share. And, your dragon puppets, or this one's a puppet, is it like you put on your head? Yeah. Could you demonstrate us?
Absolutely. So this is Ember.
Hi, Ember.
Hello.
Very cute. So since your graphic novels are black and white,
yes,
do you leave the interpretation of color to the reader?
Well, in a way, absolutely. So that's one of the fun things about black and white comics, is people can, imagine for themselves what the colors are going to be. But all of my covers are in color. So, I know what my characters look like and what colors they should be. And on the covers, obviously, the reader is given that interpretation. But I welcome people coloring my comics. I think that'd be great.
More about your dragon puppets.
Yeah.
When did you start making them, and what is the process like?
Sure. So I started making these when basically I was like, it takes a week to make my big dragons. And which one of them's right here. And I was like, I need something that's going to take a significantly less amount of time. And so I started making the designs in late 2017 and, made them available in 2018. And I have 12 different designs, all different characters from the series, and everybody's just has loved the heck out of them. It's been great. And I can get them done in a day, which it's a long day. It's 8 to 12 hours, but it's totally fun. And, it's beyond just obviously sharing my ideas and sharing the stories via the comic. What's fun about also making the puppets and the big stuffed animals is it's something that people can touch and, kids can play with, get interested in it. And frankly, when you're at a show like this, it's something that people can see from a big distance away and be like, oh, that's really cool. Let's go see what that is. Because let's be real, new comics, it takes a lot to get people to look at it, and the dragons do it.
Yeah. The dragons definitely do it. That's how we came across your booth. Really, really creative, and I grew up liking dragons as well. I read a few novels about just like fantasy novels with really cool dragon characters. So really glad that you created this. So check out Dragon Child by Katie Shaw. Thank you once again for your time today. Absolutely. And this is Christine Summers with IdeateTV.